Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield, the host of Manny Talks Shooting, and welcome to another episode. This is the shooting podcast where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you like this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Talks Shooting. And without further ado, let's get to this episode. Manny Talks Shooting is proudly presented to you by D2 Custom Guns. Did you know that Phil the Groundhog isn't the only thing Puxatawny, Pennsylvania is famous for? That's right, D2 Custom Guns, the home of Dan Heizenreiter and one of the best, fabulous 2011 builders in the country. So make sure you guys go check him out, D2 Custom, anywhere you can see him on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, go check him out. If you see myself, Patches Reader, anyone with the D2 Custom Guns, make sure you go check him out, and you will thank me later. Now, let's get on to the show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of the Manny Talks Shooting podcast. We greatly appreciate you here. But remember, I don't live in a mystery van. I'm not Brian Conley. I'm not Ark Levy. I'm just me. I do my thing in my side room. Happens to be my dog's room. You have to deal with it. But this show is proudly presented to you by D2 Custom Guns. Go check out Dan, D2 Custom Guns. Finest 2011 builder out there on the market. Get an open gun, limited optics gun, a limited gun if you still fancy the iron bumpy things. But go check them out, d2customguns.com. Send them, tell them Manny sent you, and move on with your day. Well, let's wind back the clock, I guess, guys. If you can remember episode, I want to say 62. This man was on the podcast, and it's been a long overdue. So we're sitting back down with Matt Hopkins. How you doing, Matt?
Doing really well. How are you?
I am doing fantastic, and it's going to be a fun conversation, I can feel. So I'm glad to have you back on.
Looking forward to it.
Well, and the best part is we haven't talked in so long, other than maybe a snippet, message here and there. What's new? I mean, you pretty much just moved to Area 6 last time I talked to you.
Yeah, that was very fresh. I actually had to remember when we actually talked and when that was. That was right before World Shoot when we went to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And that nightmare of a trip out there. So, it couldn't have got any worse unless I didn't make it, honestly.
Oh, was it
That was
more?
my 40-hour journey to get there and arrive 12 hours before I had to start shooting.
So but you still made it for equipment checks then, right?
I did equipment check right before my first stage. I missed all the pre-equipment checks and everything.
Oh,
So
that's got to be rough, especially because
I
essentially.
was not concerned. I knew my equipment was good.
So I mean, in theory, could they stop someone from shooting the world shoot if they don't make regular equipment check? Like if they don't make it, almost like as a check-in thing?
No, I think it's optional. A lot of people do it just to make sure all their stuff's right. But if you've been doing it enough and you're not trying to mess with the people that have to fit the box are the biggest problems, or the weight, like trigger pull weight, if they're close to that, those are the only issues you have to really worry about. I was actually concerned a little bit about trigger weight, and because I was shooting polymer guns at that point, it's like you got to be over a certain amount of weight every pull. So,
and that was the last year. This was what, 2017? No, 2022.
22.
So this was Production Optics Light team.
Yep.
Yeah, the last year Production Optics Light.
Only year.
Yeah.
We're a world championship team forever.
Yeah, the only team.
Yeah, forever.
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie on that one.
That was awesome. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, U.S. team won. I finished 9th. I think overall in production optics, I was in the mid 40s, 50s, or something like that. So I was actually really, really happy with how I did there.
Oh, so when you combined heavy and light.
Yeah.
I think their distinction of them was a little silly, but hey, you're a world champion. I can't take that away from you.
Yeah, it's good to feel that way, Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, well, it's like you've seen the meme of the guy who bites the metal and he's spraying champagne all over himself. Oh, at least it's not like that.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you never know. Back home, you never know with those guys. If we had podiums, maybe people would do that.
You think people would actually do those though?
No, but they do it to recreate the meme. The GIF. But So yeah, we haven't talked since right before World Shoot. So you said it was 40 hours to get there.
Yeah, from start to finish. Now, there was a stopover in South Korea that wasn't planned for a night, so I actually went into South Korea, so that's a country I visited. and actually went through passport control, but not really
Hmm.
because I didn't really get a stamp. So it's kind of weird.
So did you like stay at like their airport hotel or something?
No, they bust us out of the airport. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, it wasn't 100%. And then like guns and ammo in South Korea, they're like, we're keeping your bags. We're gonna lock them up. I'm like, well, okay,
Well, I know what I need to go home with, so I mean, if I don't have that,
dude. I was
you're gonna
just
have
worried
some
about getting
explaining.
to Thailand at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
with all
that's
the guns and ammo and everything.
and you were still shooting the polymer guns.
Yep.
So those were the full P10Fs, or those are were the competition readies? Are those IPSC
They
legal?
weren't legal. They weren't legal, so I had to shoot P10Fs. I
Okay.
actually shot a gun that was from our like verification build, like first 50 pieces that we built in Kansas City.
Mm,
That I have probably 20, 30, 40,000 rounds on it. Like I have a bunch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're back to shooting DASAs, aren't you?
Yeah. Dude, when I landed, I left the guns in the travel box locked up for probably 6 months before I even took them out and did anything with them.
Were they all rusty from not like,
No, no,
oh
no,
dang it.
no.
One one whole brick of rust on the top, and then you got the nice polymer, like, oh, we're
Yeah.
impenetrable.
No, they were all good. I took the dots off and everything, and
Yep.
they're just sitting in the safe now. So
There you
kind of like
go.
collect keepsake pieces at this point.
Yeah. So now, what are you back to production, or are you back to carry
I
optics?
shot production for trying to qualify for World Shoot Team as the main division, but I've since like milled two more Shadow 2s with optics, so I'm going full optics at this point.
Hmm.
Not going iron sights. I have a eye issue or hard to see iron sights at this point, so
I don't know how
just
to
going
shoot
all
iron
dot.
sights.
There's a lot of people that don't. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I mean, I can roughly line them up. I mean, you just got to be target focused. That's all that matters. Target focus.
I never could do that. So
No, now I can only do it in my dry fire basement. I don't think like, and I get a good, I don't know, I can get a simulated like 30-yard target or so, but I'm like, I don't want to shoot 30 yards in a real iron sight.
no, it's not fun.
Yeah. So, where did my train of thought go? But no.
Since then,
Oh yeah. So are you gonna shoot? That's what it was. My question was gonna be: you gonna shoot limited 10 optics minor?
no, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
own a 40 gun or a major gun, so
Well, we can fix that. We can find you a tax sport.
I don't understand why they try to. What's the pull to keep that thing around? Like that thing's never going away.
And we can get more money from Wilson Combat because we have an L.
Yeah,
we
when's the
can.
last time they sponsored a USPSA match?
Well, it's because yeah. Well, maybe where are they from? Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Oh,
They don't
maybe.
sponsor. Walther does there.
Oh yeah, because they're in Fort Smith,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
See, failed opportunities. It's okay. They fail. But yes,
No,
no,
it's
burn the division. In my opinion, burn the division. But it's
we
all
were
good.
so close. We were so close.
It's okay. Can this be like the last straw then if it fails and participation still? Can it if it doesn't go up like 15% in participation, can we you
Dude,
know
it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. No one's got the balls to actually kill something.
yeah, we just keep adding divisions.
Yeah.
Which so do you think that actually a lot of people talk about that where, if you keep adding division it keeps diluting it. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, a little bit. Like as honestly, like everybody went to carry optics and the competition and let's just say production at the except at the very very top when the top 10 or 12 guys in it. Um, it would yeah obviously it was lower than it has been
Mhm.
competition level for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting, limited optics and carry optics have never had to be other than in like level 2s and level 3s, they're never in the same they don't have to go against each other like in a nationals participation level,
Yeah.
but I don't see the popularity of people shooting LO over CO, at least when both are available.
Uh, so LO taken over CO.
Yeah, I just don't see it right now.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either. I think it'll be a um, I think CO is still going to be the biggest division like for a while. I don't see it getting flipped over.
Yeah, until I don't know. I've been hesitant with it. You know, they made it an official division now. Well, as of whenever I think the
It's
31st, it's
been an
legit.
official division. It just wasn't official.
Yeah, it wasn't a permanent
Yeah,
division. But since they
yeah.
made it permanent, like maybe I'll think about turning my backup open gun into a limited optics gun or something. But I'm still too hesitant to you know dive down into that hole. But
I think it's pretty solid at this point, though. Like it's 2011 slide
yeah,
ride optics,
right.
honestly.
So if someone said, "Hey, Matt, you got to shoot limited optics tomorrow," you gonna just grab a Shadow 2 and let it rip?
Yeah, honestly, if I shoot it tomorrow, but if I was told I have to shoot that division for the next 2 years or so, I'd look at a 2011. Try to get one to fit me and actually put some time into it. I mean, I would probably look at Masterpiece Arms. They make the most sense. They're close here. I know a person there really well, like Caleb. He would do good. I trust him to do it and give me
Yeah.
something that would work,
And
even
if
if
you
I had to have like one to start out with.
right, and if you didn't, you know where he lives. Be like, I know where you live.
I know close enough where he lives.
I
So
know where your
yeah,
family lives, Caleb.
yeah, I do know that. So,
No, we're from the same area. Damn it.
yeah,
Speaking of the same area, how's the barbecue business going? I mean, it's not your particular barbecue
my
business.
parents actually retired and sold the business and sold the building. They didn't sell the business; they sold the building and restaurant. So they're
Oh, so
fully retired now and just traveling, just
that is
driving around
awesome, man.
traveling.
I mean, especially when they were on what two or was it two or three times on
They were
got
on 3 times.
three times. You guys go look it
Yeah,
up. The place looked awesome though.
yeah, it was good. They still have the rub, so they're still doing the online rub sales and that stuff. So
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. When they retire.
mm, I don't know, year or so ago.
Okay, so it's since the last time we
Year,
talked.
yeah,
But yeah,
in between, yeah.
yeah. So well, that's good. Good they're able to actually probably enjoy retirement instead of being like bound to the restaurant all the time. So
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yeah. My brother and his wife were working there full time also, so they were like tied to that same thing. They've all got new jobs, able to spend way more time with their family. So that's really good.
yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So, um, as if we've kind of talked, and if people haven't lived on a rock, they should know that you've been involved, at least on a stage design or what do you call it? Stage manager. I almost want to call you
Coordinator, I think, is the official
stage
word that they
coordinator
use. Yeah.
or stage selector bitch or whatever
Yeah.
derogatory
Whatever.
term. No, so you've been in charge of Carry Optics Nationals 2024 and 2024 Handgun National stages.
Yeah. So it started with helping at the South Carolina State match,
Hmm.
helping Todd Holmes with that. So I kind of volunteered to put all the stages together. They got submissions from everybody. And then, like, obviously, we can't have 10 swingers in the match because we don't have that many. So you have to kind of work around what's submitted. I think you have to have one final person do the selection and put it together to try to get the overall feel of it.
Hmm.
I did that in 23. I did area 6 in 23. Did setup at both of those. Leading into 24, had only planned on doing South Carolina, and then Todd Holmes got keyed as match director for CO, and then was all three, but then it got back down to CO and handgun.
Hmm.
So he brought me in, and I kind of did all the stage stuff for CO and handgun, and kind of gave all the documents to the setup crew that came out there early, and then joined them the weekend before the match and helped fine tune it and kind of set targets and stuff like that. So learned a lot from. Well, I guess I did submit. So in 23, I submitted. Well, I don't know, 6, 7, or 8 stages to Jake for handgun nationals
Hmm.
at Cardinal, which stage 18. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. And it's not. This
Yeah.
is where you got to have like the video of you walking the stage or something, and then be like, "This is what I had on paper."
Dude, I measured it out. I measured it out in SketchUp. I'm like, you guys like doubled the length of the stage from the drawing. And that was a good learning opportunity because I learned to put like grid lines on the diagrams to show like what the distance was between everything.
Yeah, but wouldn't that make sense in general? Like if someone knew what they're looking at in SketchUp, wouldn't they be like, this doesn't make like there is scale in the program. It's not like you just slap shit every I mean,
Yeah, but they don't have the program. You send a basically send a photo of it to the in a Word doc or a PowerPoint and print it out, and then they print it out and look at it during setup. So you're
I
not
mean,
really looking at the SketchUp file.
well, this is true. I mean, this is all I will say that is probably true, but it's not hard to have SketchUp make 2017 on a tablet or a computer. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, shit, you can pull up SketchUp on
that's
your phone.
it's not worth it at that point though. And honestly, when they're putting stuff on the ground, you're like, okay, well, it goes in this general area, but you're not totally tied to it.
Right. I mean, this is true. I mean, we all know
Yeah,
stages change when they hit the ground,
yeah,
but yeah. Yeah, so stage 18 hurt a lot of souls.
dude, it hurt my soul on it.
And then
It
you
was a
just look at
tough
this.
stage, and Iron Sight. It was Iron Sight match. That's what it was designed around. And I sent him Jake. Jake had other stages in there. He did the coordination point of it and setup and everything, and I just showed up. I
Mhm.
think Walt like messaged me like during setup and said, "You built a monster" or something like that.
No, no,
So
no. I
it
did.
was,
No, you built the wall. You built the monster. I just designed to stay.
yeah. I built some monsters since then that obviously learning from. So
Yeah. Well, and oh, I know it was right on the tip of my tongue, but God damn it, that pisses me
that's
off
all
because I
right.
was on my tip of my tongue twice, and I'm like, oh, I remembered it, and then I lost it again. But
Write it down.
yeah. Then that's my problem. I write it down, and then I can't understand my chicken scratch either. But so yeah, you've been dealing with stages, and it's going pretty well. You figure out like especially at South Carolina, you you can drive you collect all the stages and you learn from there. Like usually, what you get about half or double the stages you need for the match, really.
Honestly, that first year we probably had double. It's kind of scaled back since then, and you kind of at this point it's like I need a shooting area and I need to see kind of like the general gist of what you were trying to do. If you're trying to have like someone hold something while they shoot or pick up all their magazines on a stage, and you kind of design around that. Like at this point, I really just need help with like shooting areas and like at some point you run out of ideas for how many different ways can you use an 8 or 4 foot straight stick.
Yep.
And so that's the biggest thing. Like I actually have been going through, like, not to get too far ahead, but going through and pulling all the not used stages and put them in a file
Hmm.
so I can look at them and pull elements out of those for upcoming matches this year. So looking at
Yeah.
those, working on stuff for 2025 at this point.
Well, I mean, it is January. You're already behind the eight ball. It seems. I mean, some of us are like, I don't know. You probably if are you dealing with South Carolina again in 25?
Yeah. Yep.
So you're
That's
if
happening in 2 months. And
don't in less than 13 days, or do you have a ticker now?
no, 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 no. South Carolina's kind of been automatic. Like we have me, Todd, and Tom. We all
Hmm.
kind of have our little split, and Chris like on the ground running the setup and doing the monthly stuff. Uh, we each have kind of like our silos. We're doing stuff, and we know what we need to do, and we're kind of chugging along and doing that, and it'll just happen. Like we'll get there and we'll knock it out. Like at some point, I guess this is another big thing. At some point, you have to just be like, okay, well, we're done doing this virtually and online. Like, can't do anything else before we actually get on the ground and start doing stuff.
Right.
And
Yeah, and
especially on stages, you're kind of like locked in at some point. You can't just keep,
yeah, you can't keep meeting. Oh, do we like this stage? Do we change it again? It's like
yeah,
sometime you've picked it apart. You've picked it enough apart, and then you're like, nope, this is what we got. We're going with it.
yep, and just modify it after that. Honestly,
Right. And how
on the
you meant,
ground.
yeah, well, yeah. When you're like, oh, there's this rock here. I'm not gonna dig out this rock. We're moving the target 3 feet.
Dude, that's the whole Bud and Gun Club. You got to dig out a foot down into the ground sometimes
This is why
to get the
Tyler
stuff into a
Meisenheimer,
base, dude. It's horrible.
you tell Tyler, dig all the holes. Then he'll be less
Dude,
fast.
no, you can't do that. You got to like split it up. Like
Yeah.
it gets bad.
Now
Yeah.
I'm wondering, can you guys use like a battery powered like ice fishing auger, kind of thing, like a almost
So
like a post
someone
hole
said
digger?
they have a some kind of earth moving, dirt moving thing they're going to bring out if we do Area 6 or something next time.
Hmm.
So like he'll like just scrape the gravel off in each spot. Will like, and then he'll move on to the next one, and he'll just go around each bay doing that, setting all the walls up and stuff. So hopefully that'll save the setup crew like a
Yeah,
lot of like strength and I don't know, just hassle like doing it.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's got to be rough having to dig through the rock to then get to the dirt to then dig down and then fucking put a
So
wall
it's
up.
it's gravel, bigger gravel, and then clay.
Ugh.
Yeah, and
No, thank
we
you.
set them in the clay, and then you put the gravel back over the top of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to make it look pretty.
Oh yeah.
And it's nice how you talk about like match management or even like match coordination. Like everyone's in their own silo. It is nice when you have your job, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm dealing with 3 to 4 major matches worth of bull crap, and I'm just like, I'm in my silo. Like if work comes my way, send it my way. But like other than that, I'm gonna churn and burn what I got.
Yeah.
It,
I it's it's good to like have the team meetings or whatever and make sure like everything's on track or anything new comes up that you can help with. But it honestly it's the least stressful for me. Like I don't have to worry about getting a sponsor here or there. I just have to worry about stages and then setup and then like doing making sure the match runs and everything's working right and going on. So
hmm
it's the
And I do.
best for me.
Oh yeah, exactly. And now, I mean, I've heard this phrase a little bit lately. Match flow is the one god you sacrifice everything to on the match. Do you believe in that
I've
sentiment?
heard that and I listened and heard that. I heard that saying, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago. Jared says that, I think, right?
Yes.
Uh, I think so. Like, it makes sense. Like, you can't have one stage that runs 5 minutes a shooter, everything else runs a minute a shooter. Everything's going to back up into that one.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. It's those things are you have to look out for. You for example, Buckeye Blast 2024.
Yeah.
They did a dual bay, but a front and back dual bay. And the
Yeah.
problem was everything else in the zone was turning 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 22 minutes. And the last stage in the zone, of course, they then had the travel time to the other end of the zone,
Yep.
was a dual bay and it was running at 45-minute lengths. So it was in time, but it was not in time with the rest of the zone.
Yeah. And one thing I try to do, so we have a big movement between like 10 and 1 at South Carolina. So
Hmm.
you want to almost put two shorter, faster stages on 10 and 1 because the travel time in between, and
Hmm.
you have to account for that in the rotation. So you almost have, instead of like a 4 minute, 3 minute movement between, you have like a 10-minute movement between. So you're losing like two, three shooters worth of time just in that.
Right, but if you plan it accordingly, it's not a
Yeah.
delay into the zone or the match. Now, would it make
There's no change on the flow.
yeah. Now there's a question for South Carolina. I'm curious. Would you think it'd be better in zones, or is it better as a single, 1 through 10 match?
You couldn't really do zones in South Carolina because it's a half day shooting format.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Because yeah.
And yeah, and it doesn't really break up. You have really six bays that are together, then four that are separate that you got to almost have a golf cart run between. So you
Gotcha.
shoot like 1 through 6, and then you have to walk over to 7. 7, 8, 9, 10 are together, and then 10 go all the way back to 1.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that South Carolina does that staff reset half day format stuff. Silly Area
For
Sixers.
now. For now.
Yeah,
I've been trying to have them get rid of it. Doesn't make like the staff costs are just way too high.
the staff costs are high. I mean, it's probably a comparable package. Like I was looking at coming down last year, and I'm just like, I still got to pay for my hotel. I got to pay to get my ass down there. Like it makes no sense for an out of state like Klugowitz who would go down there every year, and I'm like, I'm looking at him. I'm like, I knew
He
you're
has
like,
family
well,
down here, I think, though.
yeah, but like he's still like the range master. I'm like, I don't know unless you're getting like more of your truck time, like your ass time and chair in the truck covered. Like it barely like you're getting like a stipend, and you're like, well, it's either on the fuel that took me to get here or the hotel. But
Yeah, I think he stays with family or something down here. So
yeah, I can't remember. I like talking to Kluge, but I don't try to stand there and talk to Kluge all day because you could be
he's
there all
good
day.
at he's good at he's good at talking.
Yes, as most of the old guard are. I mean, like
Yes.
they
Oh
love
yeah.
like we do call him the belly of knowledge. I don't know if you. So
I haven't ever heard that yet. So
every RM that we like I know has like a mini name of knowledge. Like you've met Paul, you met Derek's uncle Paul, right?
Paul. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the cane of knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Jim's the belly. Tom Palmer was the beard of knowledge.
Okay.
Um, Walt is the Richard of knowledge.
That's nice. That's
Uh,
good.
well, he knows when you're pissed off at him when you really call him Walt.
Yeah.
but but yeah, so I love hanging out with range masters, but I can't sit and drink more than like a bourbon with them because they'll just go on and on and on. I'm like I'm asleep, like I don't get to sit at Chrono all day, guys. So I got to actually go do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so South Carolina sounds like it's gonna be good as always. Is
Oh yeah. It'll be good.
now you've got all your stages pretty much locked in at this point, or are you still like
For
scratching and
South
drawing?
Carolina,
Yeah.
I haven't drawn a single one yet.
Have people given some to you?
Yeah, I have some given to me. So
Well, I mean that's a start, right?
yeah, I think I have 4 or 5 for a
Gotcha.
10 stage match. So I mean, I put all the local guys in. I try to use all their stages and then adjust around them. Makes sense. Like they're out there helping. They're putting all the work in. So
Right.
it's good to see.
Well, and it's good probably because you probably have sent them the Belton Gun Club bay sizes and dimensions so they can actually like plan inside of a bay.
Oh, dude, that was they shoot there a lot, so they know the size of the bays. They have no problem designing within those requirements. Dude, that
Yeah.
was the hardest. That was the single hardest thing for CO Nats last year,
Hmm.
and was adapting a stage that was drawn for something else into that bay,
Yes. That
into a
is
bay like with the requirements of Cardinal, like especially the woodwall bays.
definitely.
That was definitely the most challenging. Took the most time, like for that match.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, I was super. As soon as somebody gave me like an email with like pretty close to bay dimension sizes on all the bays, I'm like, I sent it to my buddy who made me the SketchUp file for my new club, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I need bays yesterday. He's like, done. I'm like, oh, thanks.
yeah,
Which that's the biggest thing is like being able to design within relative scale to what you're doing. Like that's why
yep.
SketchUp is so nice.
It's all exact. It's a drafting program. Like
Right, but if you're given bad information, you're building in bad. Like you know what I mean. Like
100%, yeah. So
so,
I
it's like.
actually I always like kind of do Google Earth to see like get dimensions on it, have the
Hmm.
local people do that, and then like if I can, I physically go there and like step it off.
Hmm.
Like for Area 6, I did that. I was given some dimensions, like Google Earthed it, and then stepped it off like at a local match. It's only like 2 hours away, so I went up there, no problem.
Oh, when you went to
Uh,
Rowan.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then stepped it off. Like it's a little different. And then they have like the berms aren't exactly like solid. It's kind of like a sloping down into it, so you lose a couple more feet there.
Hmm.
And you can see like, oh well, there's a trough, like a ditch. There's going to be water running on that. That's going to be super muddy. So let's try to stay out of that since we had a match in the spring. So
Yeah, and that's where it on the ground knowledge is very key, right? Like you don't know the bays necessarily. Look, if I told you always have to run a match, you're going to run the South Carolina section at Cardinal.
in May or in March, right? You don't necessarily know the conditions of the range in that shitty weather, but you know enough people who've shot there enough and
Yeah.
know that it's smart enough not to shoot a major match in March in Columbus. I mean, at least you
It's
guys down
snow,
at
right?
I mean, yeah, snow, sleet, a tornado I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like everything could go wrong.
Yeah, South
But
Carolina, all we're getting is probably rain and cold on one of the mornings, honestly.
yeah, but
It's
what's
kind
what's
of been
South
like that.
Carolina cold though? Like what, 40
Dude,
degrees?
dude, it's cold right now. I have to wear a winter coat around. It's under freezing at night here.
Holy, well, aren't you used to
Yeah,
that
it's
from
not.
Kansas days?
Yeah, but like one summer here like destroyed that any
Oh, okay.
any semblance of that. So
Well, if
no,
any
I'm a sissy. Like if I have to heat my car up in the morning before I go to a match because it'll be cold to get into, I don't go to matches anymore unless they're major matches.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you there. But I mean, you think about it. If you're like summers in Kansas City, you should be able to survive anything.
Oh, the summers are fine. They're
Yeah.
the same as Kansas City. They just start way earlier, last way longer.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Summers
6 months of that versus 3.
I've been trying to get the wife super convinced to transfer to uh Mooresville, North Carolina. We have a facility there and they work in liquid color. And I'm like, can we transfer please so I can go like shoot all year round and not be
Dude,
like
that's a
sitting
nice
at home?
area too. Like I would moving like to the upstate or the Charlotte area. Like that whole area is way more populated. So like
Hmm.
that's a good area to go to.
Yeah. So I'm convincing her. It's just like she's like, well, what about my mom? I'm like, can't we leave her? Can't we leave her? Like you can visit her, but but no, I'm kind of hoping. I want to move down there and where it's going to be warm, but we'll see if that ever actually gets to happen. So thank you for checking out another episode of Manny Talks Shooting. I greatly appreciate it. And if you could do me a favor, please go patronize our partners when you are available. We have always, as the title sponsor, D2 Custom Guns. We've got Outdoor Dynamics, Make Stuff Better, 2 Alpha Apparel, Range Panda, Laugh and Load, Hunters HD Gold, and Southern Bobby Q. Now, thank you. Let's get on with this episode. You designed stage. So in 2023, you gave Jake stages for Handgun Nationals.
Yep.
And then, when Todd got brought in for the Nationals in 24, he's like, well, I'm bringing Hopkins with me because I need
Yep.
Hopkins. But because he knows your strengths, Todd might
Yeah.
not be the strongest in stage design or match. He
He doesn't
understands match
he
flow.
doesn't even attempt it. Like he knows better and he doesn't even attempt it.
Right.
Like I asked him for stage, he just zero response. Like I don't even ask him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just tell him.
he knows his limits. I know mine. Like I'm not gonna. I don't want to deal with staff. Like no,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's
I know my
either, it's
limits.
one or the other, right? It's stages or,
No,
there's, I
no.
guess the three factors, right? You have
Stages
to
are
deal,
nothing.
you have the stage requirement, the staffing requirement, the sponsorship requirement, and then whatever the catch all bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But at least Todd's smart enough not to design stages. But the only question is, I guess, then is if you ever had to stay. So, holy monkey or butterfly swinger?
Butterfly swinger, the thing that does this.
Yeah,
Holy monkey, 100%.
yeah,
Butterfly
the,
swinger did not work at that match.
yeah.
We spent a ton of time on it. We spent like more time setting that thing up, and then it broke. Well, it just didn't stay sped up the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it working now?
I've heard it is, but I don't think we're gonna
Turn it
attempt to
back into a
use that.
regular swing. It can be turned back into a regular swinger, right?
Can it?
I would think so. I would think that you could just yank a bunch of bits off of it.
Yeah, you probably can get rid of the second arm on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
There you go. You got a really expensive extra swinger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so you designed stages for 2024. Everyone loved. They praised you for 2024 Carry Optics Nationals because you figured out the sauce, right? You figured it out how to.
Yeah, I that's probably the most proud match I am. And like the overall match of it, like it was all very, very good. Like I was most happy. Like we maybe had one target that I didn't like, but one target out of 500 rounds, 450 rounds, like that's pretty good.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
what target was that?
It was one of the no shoot targets on 10, I think. That was the only one I had that I would pull like change.
So 10 would have been still on the wood wall
No,
bays?
it was the dirt base, the first one in the dirt.
Oh, okay. I don't think I ever got to see that bay then. Because I did visit one day for like the morning flight. I was there. We watched the Super Squad, but then we didn't end up getting back to check out every bay.
Okay, yeah,
Although
they would have been.
Bay 21 was spicy though too with those like 30
It
yard no
wasn't
shoot
that
targets.
bad. It wasn't there. It wasn't 30. That one was open. That was open. There was like some steel, and there was a mid range one like at 22.
Oh, okay.
You're shooting optic guns, like that's not
Oh no, it's
inappropriate.
not. Yeah,
The one at like 34 was inappropriate.
34 yards.
100%. Yeah,
Oof.
it was 100% inappropriate. Like that's the one that I would take back.
Well, at least you know what target that is, and you're like, yep, that's the one I want back.
Yeah,
But it didn't ruin the match. It maybe hurt few people's souls, but it didn't, and it wasn't a match killer.
no, it didn't change the outcome.
Mm-hmm. So then, um, everybody had submitted stages to you if it was for whatever. So you got stages sent in. How many of the Optic stages were actually Matt Hopkins originals?
Ooh, one, maybe three, I think.
And then the rest were retooled from stages
Yeah,
you've
they were
gotten.
retooled, modified from stuff that was sent in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would take just one element out of a stage and kind of put it together with something else and make something out of it. So
It's always good.
yeah, I think we had like maybe 10 or 12 people that submitted stuff for that. So um, we had a lot of input. That we spent a bunch of time on that match compared to handgun. Like we spent months on CO and going back and forth on stages and reviewing them and modifying them and like
Why do you think that was the case that you spent so much more time on CO than they did handgun?
because we knew Todd was doing CO and then like we weren't sure he was doing handgun.
Oh,
Came
so it
down
was
to
one of the.
contract stuff, so
Mm,
like I was getting ready before like he was for sure doing it
hmm.
and kind of prepping for it, like knowing it. But we had like a month from when his like contract was signed to when we had to like travel to the match and like get on the ground doing setup. It was
Gotcha.
maybe 6 weeks. I think we had 6 weeks. It was crazy timing. And
So if
then
go ahead.
we were forced to submit the stages like within the time. And I was like, well, that's not happening. So you guys just need to deal get that be comfortable with that at this point. Like we'll get them.
You'll get them when you get them.
You'll get them ahead of the match, but you're not getting them 60 days ahead of the match. Like we were
Yeah.
still at CO. I think when Troy's like he was joking, he knew it. He's like, yeah, you guys have to submit handgun national stages in 3 weeks or something like that. I'm like, well, not gonna happen. So
Right. Exactly. We didn't know what was going on. So
yeah, we got them all. They were all approved.
yeah, I think there was no real complaints, and you got Todd.
There was some like not real complaints, but with the limits that we were had to work around with that range, I was pretty happy.
Right. Well, and
We had
it's
a
nice.
wide variety. They were all field courses, which it's
Mhm.
okay. We had an interesting fixed time stage, I think, like a 24 round fixed time stage or
But that was
22 rounds.
actually in a bay, right? That wasn't in the turning targets.
At
Gotcha.
handgun, it was in Bay 4.
Right.
I think it was like a 11 or 12-second par time. Most everybody got all the shots off. Only
Mhm.
one person cleaned it. So at that point, like I think we set the time right on that. If only one person cleaned it.
Mhm. No, I think you're right. I mean, I think fixed time is the hardest stage to design, purely from the
Yeah,
fact is you're trying to be like, okay, how do I push the top level guys to try to go for all the like? make the plans viable in fixed time, and actually separate the G's from the M's from the A's to the so on and so forth.
I think that washes out at some point. Like if you don't like misjudge a time where 50% of the match cleans it, I think that all juggles out. Like I haven't specifically went back, but like there was only one person that cleaned it. A lot of people, like maybe three or four, only like 2 points off the top because I got one Charlie on it. So
Mhm.
like it's a sliding scale. It's like a classifier system. Yeah, you can say that it's not perfect or whatever, but still, generally, the good shooters finish ahead of the not as good shooters, and it's the same. It was the same way on that. Obviously, there's outliers on both sides of that.
Yes, correct. That is correct. You definitely have different skill levels shooting the stage, and it's like I say, it's probably one of the harder ones to figure out until it's like you actually get it on the ground and you can look at it, walk it, do your.
Yeah, so we had some people that were not shooting the match shoot it.
Mhm.
Like we kind of set an idea on time. We're like, okay, we talked through it. Like this is probably what it should be. Uh, and then we had some people shoot it to try to kind of judge like where where it would be at.
Mhm.
And at handgun, we kind of let him shoot the stage a couple times, 2 or 3 times. Then we're like, okay, can you run this like guaranteeing all A's? And he shot it, got a time. And I'm like, okay, I just want you to have like 2 shots on the paper anywhere, and got another time. So we were able to kind of see where we were at on that.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the way to do it. You find somebody equitable who's not interested in who isn't shooting the match, at least for score,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
shoot, and then you figure out your time frames, and then I guess it all bases on what their skill level is too. At their base raw shooting ability is right.
yeah. You can math it out pretty well too. Like you can
Mhm.
get pretty close within a second or two either way of it. I think
Right, like
you're probably
planning.
on the underside of it,
Yeah.
usually on that. So this is like the limit of what I think someone could do this stage in. So say
Mhm.
that's 8 seconds. You're like, well, the time probably should be 9 then
Yeah.
or 10. Like that. I think we settled on like 11 seconds for the par time at handgun. And that was only like because we had iron sight low cap divisions at that match.
Right. Yeah. You
And
have
we
to
had to
at some
pair that
point.
with the LO division where it's high cap optics.
Yeah, and you're gonna have it's what it was 20 rounds. So wheel guns, you got to at least get one reload. You're at 12, so
Yeah.
you can't.
Yep.
You can't. You'd have to do three reloads with with a revolver.
They just skip targets.
Yeah, you
They
just
just skip
don't
two
shoot the
targets.
last. Yeah, the last two or whatever two it made it
Actually, the
advantageous.
final position had 3 targets, so incentivized people to go down there and skip targets early in the stage. So
Oh, so do a reload
that
sooner
was
then.
yeah, I think you basically off the start you had 8 rounds in one position.
Hmm.
And then they just like skipped the next position when they're reloading and kind of shot the rest of it.
Hmm. Yeah. So with I want to double real quick back into carry optics purely because I'm interested. Well, I'll make this comment. I loved there was a stage. There's probably a couple stages that are like this, but shoot through a port through a port. Like I hadn't
Yeah.
seen any of that before.
So that was a really common thing 2012 to 15, 16, something like that
Hmm.
at Paso Park. Ray Hurst used to design that quite a bit and put that in stages. He submitted stages that had that in there, and I'm like, okay, this is great element. Like we have not seen this in a long time, so I was really happy to see that. I think it kind of threw people off. They haven't seen it a lot, so I was really happy about that. Like that was all Ray Hurst, and I kind of just modified his stage or added it in a couple different times where it
Hmm.
was done throughout the match.
Yeah, it was super cool to see that. I hadn't seen it before. It's definitely probably a little bit of labor of love when setting it up, just to make sure you got your right angles, your correct.
Yep.
Can't say right angles because there are right angles, but I mean the correct angles.
Yeah.
So you don't obliterate your walls. I mean, you got to make it through a match like nationals. You can't be replacing a wall because by the middle of day one, the walls obliterated. The holes like extra 6 inches on
Yeah.
each side.
And during setup, you can kind of see that stuff, and we've been putting 2x2s up on the sacrificial side, the shooting side of it. So if target is in a window and on the target, so like you're shooting through the wall, like this is gonna get hit because they're shooting in basically like this, but opposite where my finger is. They're coming in
Hmm.
this way. So this wall gets shot up. We'll put a 2x2 on it like this, and that'll be the sacrificial part. So you just go like zip 2 screws in it, and you can just replace that whole piece with a new piece, and it's like a brand new restored wall there.
Yeah. Well, and that's the smart thing when you pre-plan those things. Like you make them ready. Like I know at Buckeye Blast in 24, they figured out their new wall situation, right, with the steel covered up
Yeah,
by the horse stall.
yeah, that worked really well at CO. That changed how you can use the wood wall bays.
Yeah, and you're not having to be like, oh, we got to build a bullet trap. No, it's like just go
Yeah,
hang some steel and cover it up and put some 4x4s on each, or 6x6s maybe. I
yeah,
don't
I
know what
think
they
they're
ended up.
yeah,
I know started with 2x4s, I think, and then those got eaten up. Like at Buckeye, it was like 2x4s, 4x4s, and then I was like, oh, do 6x6s, and we'll
yeah.
be good. But yeah, those were cool. So I'll punch back to handgun because I think I've talked everything I want to talk about for CO, from CO Nats, but uh, I guess we made a monster of a stage for the
We
last Bay
did,
of
yeah,
Handgun Nationals.
dude. I had there was like there's a lot in that match.
Oh yeah.
They have super wide and deep bays, and you're like you're gonna use the like you want to use the whole bay if possible.
Hmm.
Like there was, dude, I can think of your stage, my stage up in that zone. Like when the fast time was like 26 seconds, like for a field course, like that's a lot for an LO like
Hmm.
match winner, like shooting in 26 seconds. Like that's a huge stage.
Yeah, and it wasn't super. I
Uh,
wouldn't think they weren't super prop. That stage wasn't super prop heavy though either. Though I mean,
dude, there was like 12 shooting positions in it.
yeah. I mean,
That
sorry, not
like
sorry.
no,
I
like
loved
it was
it.
designed to be like that. It was
Yeah.
great.
Well,
I
and
was super happy with that one.
yeah, you made my idea like perfect. It was like, and that was punishing for a lot of people, like the iron sight people, the dot shooters. Like they're like the bobber and the swinger out there. Like, oh, eat my lunch all day
Dude,
long.
we probably put that a little too far. But we put open targets on them. They were big steel, so like it's doable. It's not too bad, but
Yeah.
for iron sight match, it was probably a little over the top. Like that was like move that in. I don't know, 7 8 yards, 20 feet or so. Like that would be perfect stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if it was an all irons match.
Yeah, we had LO guns there too, so you have to.
You mean uncompensated open guns, essentially.
Yeah, LO. It's a real division now. I guess I have to admit that.
Yeah. Well, I guess is this really open poverty open or open or poverty pony? I don't know. I mean, everyone made fun
Well,
of Carry Optics as like
yeah.
CO was like poverty open. Now it's like LO. It's like I don't know now. It's like middle
I don't
class
know.
open.
I guess, yeah. People that
I'm
want their stuff to run.
yeah. Hey, my open guns run just fine. It's the ammo that's the problem.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's a part of making a gun function, right?
I mean, this is true, but I can't ever blame the gun. It's usually, goddamn guy who fucking loaded this ammo. Who did that? Oh yeah, that was me. God damn it.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes, or it's just because I'm too lazy. Seat the primer all the way. Stupid freaking ridiculous primers. But so yeah, we had some monsters, and everyone was like, I loved that stage watching people post videos of it. It sucked in the rain though. That would have to suck shooting zone 3 in the rain at Handgun Nationals.
Um, honestly, I don't know. It was fine, honestly. We
Hmm.
shot in the rain like all day Saturday morning. It was kind of miserable. Not super fun, but you're going to go out there and do it, so you kind of have a good idea going in, and you can get in the right mindset ahead of the match. So
Right. So I don't know. Is this made official that you're the guru behind IPSC national stages this year?
yeah, yeah,
Oh
that's official. That's out there. So
yeah. So You've already started working on it.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So,
So this will be my first IPSC rule set match to do. I've shot a bunch of IPSC matches, attended them.
mhm,
Haven't ever done stages for one. So they have actually a booklet on target presentations that are legal and not.
mhm,
So you have to stick within, like, they're not going to let you put a no shoot behind a target, like as a backer.
right.
Like
So you
they will
can't have
not let
like
you
a
do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
They can't.
you
You
back
can't
up.
have a shoot target and then have a no shoot behind it. But you can put a no shoot in front of it.
In front of it is fine. Yeah, and they have no limit of amount of A zone available.
Oh, so you could give me 2
Yes.
inches.
Yep. You will see a very limited. You will see a target there that has a limited amount of A zone that would not be legal in USPSA. Let's just say that.
Now, do they make you put? I'm assuming the uh, IPSC targets must be no more than 45 degrees. Did that come from IPSC or is that a purely USPSA rule?
Mm, I believe they have something in there like that,
Hmm.
but you don't really see that. I think pretty much everything that I've seen in IPSC is like straight up and down. So I
Right.
don't plan on doing anything crazy like that.
Yeah. That we did that last year at Buckeye. No, last year at Area 5. We flipped up a IPSC target on a bobber, and
Oh yeah, that yeah.
people weren't too
That's a good
happy
trick.
about
Yeah,
that. But it's
I
not a
like
static target; it's a moving target.
exactly. Yeah,
Because I think what was that 2022 handgun carry optics nationals? No, so it'd been 23 national carry optics nationals at Cardinal, where they did the weird sideways swingers, the IPSC
yeah,
swingers,
yeah.
and everyone's like, "How's that a legal target?" It's not static, duh. But definitely some interesting things. So it'd be cool to see what you come up with IPSC nationals or coordinate for that. 24 stages. When Corey told me 24 stages, I'm like, what happened to 18? Like 18 sounded reasonable.
There, you have to do the format though. You
Well,
have
yeah.
three short, two medium, one long.
Right. So you're only
So
adding
it's
one more
still,
3-2-1 on top of 8 from 18 to 24.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, and honestly, the round count is limited. So you have like 36, and then you have 48 plus 32. So max 116 times 464 max rounds.
oh, okay. So that's still under the number I was planning on bringing. So that's always that's always good. I was always going to bring 1,000 anyway. So,
Oh yeah, you'll be fine.
oh, yeah.
You are a staff.
Yep. I am one of, if not I might be the only, if not, I'll have another stats core buddy. So,
You're doing stats.
yeah.
Okay, so not stage staff.
No, not a stage
Okay, cool,
staff.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Matt, you need to sign up and squad yourself. Darn it.
I'm signed up. I thought.
You are signed up, but I don't think you're actually squatted anywhere.
Oh, I'm doing like what we've done when I did the national matches, where I do kind of, I
Shoot
guess,
through,
No, 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 no. I shoot with the main match. I do setup and then do whatever's needed.
then you
I
go
guess I
shoot.
was designee match director for the pre-match at Handgun, and they're gonna do the same thing for IPSC Nationals while the staff is shooting. Then I basically just thank you, like, thanks for letting me work, and I'm gonna go be a competitor now for the main match.
Yeah. Yep. Yep, Mister. Yep. You're just not. We got to get you a squad soon. We got to find you a good squad in the main match.
I'll find something.
Yeah. We still got to figure out who's actually going to be all in the super squads. That's really the thing that's killing people right now is because we have like 7 squads like blocked off still.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
like, yeah. So it's like the main match PM AM PM is like, oh no, there's no slots. No, there's like 7 squads worth of slots that you guys can't touch.
yeah. We can do that. So typically the World Shoot years, the IPSC National is not well attended compared to previous 2 years, just
Hmm.
based on qualifiers and everything. And like there was 250 people registered the first night. I was like, wow, oh, this is gonna be big. This will be good. Like lots of people coming down from Canada, I think, on that. So got a pretty good attendance there. It's within driving distance from some parts of Canada. I don't know how much, but that's good. So I think we'll get a lot of people from Canada, people that are going to the World Shoot that'll travel there. Like this will be a very good prep for that. Plan on mimicking kind of like with bay dimensions and actually probably having a harder match than what I think IPSC World Shoot will be
Mm-hmm.
difficulty wise. I think it'll be a harder match. You'll see the typical stuff. You'll see single hand required shooting because that's legal within IPSC rules up to a medium course. You'll have stuff where you have to, I don't know, you'll have to stow magazine. That's very typical that you'll see at IPSC matches.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have a target that's very limited in availability with a no shoot on it, but it's not going to be at a very far distance. It's just going to be a tough shot.
Right.
Uh, Currently, so plates are legal in IPSC. I plan on using plates if we can. Like I want to try to get a good number of plates because we won't 100% see plates at the IPSC World Shoot. I want to get a decent amount of plates, and since USPSA outlawed them on everything but level ones, it'll be a good time to get those out and get them used from clubs in the area, or if there's some here I can take up. I definitely want to bring plates to this match.
Right now, this is where I love a rhino knockdown from like Targets USA. I love those plates. Like I use them at my indoor locals, because we have no real good way to put like a popper down inside. So we're like the rhino knockdown works well because you don't have to bend over and pick it up. It's just like at knee level anyway, and they're pretty
Yep.
effective.
Yeah, they're good. We use them at Belton local matches and everything. They have all different ones. They have the rippers that are very very reliable. I like those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently planning on doing something for the turning target stage. I'm not exactly sure what I want to. I'm not going to say what I plan, but I plan on using the turning targets
Mm-hmm.
on a field course. Let's just say that.
Nice. Yeah, we did we did a fixed time stage turning targets for Area
It will
5, and
not be a stage.
it was very well received, even though like the time I think was a little bullshit. But that'll be cool. The
Yeah,
turning targets will be a cool thing.
it'll be a field course. It will not be a fixed time. Virgin counts not allowed. Any of that stuff. So
Yeah. So what is
limited.
it? It's just pretty much everything's freestyle and in
Everything's
there.
comp stock. Yeah.
Nice. So my question, I guess, my biggest question about Handgun Nationals is you have 24 stages with what 8 stages, 7 stops.
Yeah. It'll
So
be 777. Yeah. There'll be 3 double bays.
so how is that gonna work? Like, are you gonna do front to back, side to sides, diagonals? Like, how are you
I
gonna
don't know
fit?
yet.
God dang it, Matt! This
I
is
have
like the hardest
no
question you need to
clue,
answer.
no clue on that one right now.
Yeah,
That depends on what we have for stages. Like
this is true.
I think side to side or kind of like a offset a little bit works the best. So it's
Hmm.
not like exactly like this. I
Right.
think if they're like offset like this, not I don't think this works real well.
No, I don't. I don't
Like
think so either.
like that, like front to back.
Yeah, front and back.
I
Yeah,
think an offset like stagger one way or the other and not exactly parallel.
right. It'd be almost nice as if you're able to almost reset the one stage as you're still shooting the other, if possible. But I mean,
I
you
don't
might have enough bay depth at Cardinal to do that, at least in the dirt bays.
we've done that where we have like almost yeah, that's been done there. We have for sure in the dirt bays.
Hmm. Yeah, those dirt bays are ridiculously long. But like that is like the cool. I mean, it sucks if you have to shoot the whole bay, but it's also like it's nice from like a stage like perspective, right? You can put like you could have 2 stages pretty much in every bay if you really wanted to. Your
Yeah,
customer
you
base
could.
might not like
Sure.
it.
Well, hold on. If there's 2 in every bay and they're all like short to medium courses, that would actually time out probably okay.
Yes. Now,
Iowa does that. They put 2 in every single bay there. They have like 5.5 bays. They put 2 in every bay. So
mhm,
they have like 11, I think 6 stops, 11 stages. So they pair the single with the chrono, and the chrono's on the shotgun range. They just shoot into one of the side berms.
yeah, that wouldn't be a bad
And that,
option.
and that works the rotation perfectly.
Mhm.
You just have
Now,
double the squad size, basically.
yeah, essentially. So, what do you find when you're shooting a match, or even when you're planning a match flow? What do you think is better? You know, like because you can't feasibly do everybody on one stage and then the other because it's
No,
essentially two
split
stops.
squads.
So you split the
Split
squad.
squad and shooter one starts on the left. Shooter seven would start on the right if there's 12, or shooter
Halfway
nine if
down,
yeah,
essentially.
halfway down. Yeah,
And then, like locally indoors, we've been doing the first Sailors 12-man squad. So you do the first six are shooting this stage, and this is the rotation. And then your other six are doing this. And then when you're done over there, you obviously pace and help reset both, but
you
then you
just
worry
do
about.
the rotation. Like you just continue the rotation through on both stages. So it'd be like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the right. And
Mhm.
it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the left.
Yeah.
You just continue the rotation throughout.
Yeah.
That's the easiest, simplest way to do it. That gets people from, do you have time in between this shoot one, like, and then wait one, and then shoot like that? That's just
Yeah,
horrible.
those were messed up. Yeah, but
No one understands them. Like
yeah.
the staff doesn't understand the RO. Like the shooters for sure don't understand how that works. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
just doesn't. It just doesn't work.
I mean, I do like hot to hot when that's an option, but it's not always feasible for a rotational standpoint.
Hot to hot.
Like you were the shooter and then you go shoot another one. Like you shoot and stand, you shoot the stand and shoot, and then you go do the field course or the mini stage.
Yeah, that can work. I think you lose time on the second stage of getting ready because the shooters have to take more time to get ready for that one versus a new shooter coming fresh up to a new stage. The stage they
Right.
know they're already shooting it. They've been rehearsing it, like visualizing it and all that, so they have it already.
Right. And I guess it doesn't. The problem also is like you're okay, you're shooting low cap, you're shooting revolver. I don't have enough rounds to essentially. I'm pushing myself on rounds, and then I'm gonna bitch because I put a half full moon clip in my gun again, and I'm like, well, nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, bang,
No,
you know.
that's you gotta prep for that if you're shooting a low cap division. Just
Yeah.
you have full cylinders and you just replace like the old ones, like don't even go back on your belt, like get rid of them,
Right.
put fresh full ones on there. Like that's a shooter problem and a planning problem for the shooters.
Right. Well, and yeah, especially if you have to go hot to hot, like
Hot to
not
hot, yeah.
it's not desirable. But I agree. Split the squad and then shoot them both. But so we're almost near the time we kind of have allotted for tonight. But I do have one more quick question, I guess, for you, and that's if you could give anyone advice about starting to design stages or think about being a better stage designer, what would that kind of? I lost Matt. He ditched me. Oh, he's
Hold on,
back.
I'm back.
He didn't ditch me too long. That's good.
Yeah,
Um, so if I'll replay my question. So if
yeah.
you could give one piece of advice to people who want to be better stage designers or start designing stages, what would that kind of be?
So so I'm gonna have two here. So I
Okay.
would say the first one is you got to start getting it down on paper, like getting putting it down somewhere. And honestly, like if I get something that's drawn on a piece of paper,
A
that
barbecue place napkin.
yeah, that would be fine. Like I can adapt that into a SketchUp thing.
Hmm.
The hardest thing is like getting started and getting ideas on how to what to do in them. And kind of like the second half of that as the second part of this is kind of if you have one idea of what you want people to do on that stage or what you want to test, that's all you really need to do. You don't need to test four things on a stage. So at IPSC Nationals or like any of the nationals, we had enough stages to test people. Oh, I forgot. One thing we forgot about CO
Hmm.
that we didn't even talk about was the prone stage.
Oh yeah, the pickleball
That
stage.
that was a total, like everybody was so worried about that, and then it came to be no issue.
Hmm.
So like we were testing prone on that stage, right? Prone shooting. We haven't had prone shooting in years at nationals.
Right.
And the way we did it, we had some pallets. We built up a platform, so it was prone, but you were like basically a foot 18 inches off the ground.
Mhm.
Totally secured, like carpet on there, like no issue. Like, yeah, it was wet, it rained. I physically got on that platform every time it rained to see how it would be, and it was not horrible. Like that was the most overblown thing. Like people were worried about, and turned out to nothing.
Right.
We only had a couple people that had to take the handicap and go forward on it. So like
And that,
it was not a thing.
and that was a tiny box. A
It was a
tiny box.
tiny, yeah, it was made for that. Like I wouldn't even have put a box out there, but we had to.
Heard the
We had
rules
to
and
make
take
it.
the penalty.
Yeah, yeah.
But so it's anything is get it on paper and know
Yes,
what skills you want to test.
yeah. Know what one skill. Like don't try to put too many.
Right. Yeah, because then
Like
it's
if
just
you're wanting to test one hand shooting, don't also test accuracy on no shoot targets. Like that doesn't make sense to test both of those at the same time.
what are you talking about? I can definitely put no shoot target, like 2 bullet holes on a no shoot, just like that.
Yeah, a
Not
lot
the
of
brown
people
scoring
can
target, the
too.
white
Yeah,
target.
exactly. Yeah,
It's like, oh, I can do that real
it
good.
just doesn't make sense. Like people aren't going to have fun. You like everybody's going out there to have fun.
Right.
the the match, people are competing at the match, they're going to make it difficult on themselves. Like you could go out and design a match with no shoot targets. I can make it very complicated and hard for people.
Hmm.
uh, like there is no problem with that. You just have to add distance or like speed to it, and people will make it as challenging as they need to, like to separate people.
Hmm. Yeah, they'll
Just
separate
how
them
this
for
works.
you.
Yes, the shooters will separate themselves. Yeah, 100%. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, have the one thing you want to test in mind and do that, and then fill in other elements on it that not are tests but make it good. Like, you don't want to have everything be a stop, like run to a spot, stop and shoot. Like, you want to put some targets in there where they could like shoot them going in or going out. Like, but there's points on matches where it makes sense to test a stop and shoot, and it could be a element or a section of a stage, but having it on every single stage in every single position doesn't make sense. So don't do like too much. All this comes back to everything. Like they say, like when you're working out, you got to go there like and start working out to learn it and get used to it. You got to do that if you're designing stages. You can't go from never designing stages to doing a world shoot match worth of stages. Like that doesn't
Hmm.
make sense. It's not going to be. I can't imagine the challenge that would cause.
Oh, an extreme challenge, and then you'd
Yeah.
have nobody ever wanted to come back, and then you'd be in the
Or
hole.
there'd be so much work on the ground to fix it that it would be
Oh, your stage staff, your working, your
your
setup crew
setup crew.
be like,
Yeah,
nope,
they'd be
I'm
like,
going home.
never again, never again. Yeah,
Like I
uh,
don't, like I'll come
like
home, I'll come
everything,
back. Yeah,
it's like investing, I guess. Also, like you have to start doing it to see the payout of it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta 100%. I agree on that statement.
Yeah,
I agree on that. But
I think that's a life lesson that just carries over to this also.
oh well, yes, 1000%. You just got to do it and get it and dive into it and figure it out and be
Yep.
boots on the ground on it. But Matt, I appreciate you hanging out with me. We've kind of wrapped it up to the time where we need to be at, but I appreciate you coming on. I'll be excited to see you for sure at IPSC Nationals,
Oh yeah.
and we'll see it and make it happen. And
If anybody, this is coming out what, like a week or two?
yeah, well, yeah, like 2 weeks maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
2 weeks.
If anybody wants to submit anything, send them to Alex, and then he'll forward them on to me. Send me a message on Instagram, mhop987 at gmail.com. That's out there, so you can send them there too.
Hmm.
Definitely be happy to use them. Like when you do enough stages, you kind of get a stage block or whatever. So, and even if we don't use like the whole thing, we can use elements of it and make it into something else. So, definitely we'll accept anything that you guys submit. So,
No, absolutely. Yeah, if you guys have stages and you want to submit it to Matt, you either get a hold of him directly or get them to me, and I will make sure to get them to Matt and be like, here's a file or a picture. Your turn to turn it into SketchUp.
just need a picture. That's all I need, honestly. Draw it out on a piece of paper and take a photo of it. I can make
Exactly.
it work.
Exactly. Matt, thank you, brother, for coming on. And listeners, as always, get out and do the things. I'm going to see you on the next one.